Okay, let's do this. It is hot as fucking Japan, but I want to see if I can do how much time it's going to take me to do this. 12 debut records. Okay. If they're marked by an asterisk in my notes, it means I purchased it after moving to Japan. First one, the great Taj Mahal. His debut. Just fabulous record. Oh, Jesse Ed Davis. An interesting thing about this copy, it's an American release, but you'll see that when it was brought into Japan, all mention of Columbia is blacked out. It's redacted. And this was a common practice because there was a Columbia had some tie-up with a Japanese company, and they didn't want any confusion, so they redacted the name Columbia, and they did this in all of them. Somebody did this by hand with black sumi ink. Okay, enough of that. Next one is the great debut by Mick Abrahams and Blodwyn Pig, 1969. I've had this since high school. I mean, look at this. I put my name on it. You know, I was that kind of guy. You know, bringing them over to friends' house, parties, making sure that it wouldn't be taken away. This is rock, blues, jazz fusion. 1969. Guitar, brass, bass, drums. Mick Abraham started this band after leaving Jethro Tull. He did This Was. He and Ian Anderson didn't get along. They went their separate ways, and they formed Blodwyn Pig. Only 2 records, and then they broke up. Maybe they did a couple of concert stuff after that. I don't know. Okay, next up, the great debut by Al Kooper. God, I love this guy. What a musical genius. So underrated by in the United States. He's 78 years old right now. He's putting together a 4 CD set of unheard of material. What I love about this record, and they don't do anymore, they did this on Blood, Sweat, and Tears, is they have a prologue where the first cut comprises elements of all the songs that are going to be on the album. Think of it of what happened on what Pete Townsend did on Tommy, and that's what Al Kooper does on his first couple of records. Next up, on STAX Records, I hope you can see this, Delaney and Bonnie, Home. Their first record. God, I love these guys. This is gospel, rock gospel. Nobody has a tone like Bonnie Bramlett. She sings like butter, and the combination between the two of them is really a pity. They only had like four or five studio albums. You know, cocaine and the music business got the best of their marriage, and there's a lot of funny stories about Delaney Bramlett and what he did with. I'll let other folks get into that on their channels. But that's on STAX Records. The only record they recorded was STAX, and then went to Elektra. Okay, next up, San Francisco's own Cold Blood, their debut on Fillmore Records. This was the first band that Bill Graham signed. I mean, Lydia Pence. Okay, there's a few American vocalists that I love. Lydia Pence, Genya Ravan. You know, of course, everybody counts Janis Joplin and Grace Slick. Lydia Pence is probably like 4 feet tall, and she can belt it out like nobody's business. One of the most powerful vocalists I've ever heard in my life. And this is a big band. This is a brass band. Think of Cold Blood as like Tower of Power with a female singer. Their debut. Next up, Todd Rundgren's Runt. Look at him. What a skinny little guy he was, huh? And what an amazing musician and producer. I love this record. I've had this since high school. Bob Zoll did the cover. He's got Hunt and Tony Sales helping him out. And there's a tribute to Laura Nyro on this record that just gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. If you've never heard that record, you owe it yourself. Maggie Bell, Stone the Crows. Their debut. The first song on this record begins with the touch of your loving hand, and it is a trade-off between Maggie and one of the guitarists in the band, And I never get tired of listening to this song. She is the most delicate vocalist, just so powerful, so restrained, just so much confidence. Thoroughly recommend this record. This is the only Little Feat record I own. I can't stand any of their other records. They're just anything after this record. Look at this. I put a Dymo label. See that? What a little schmuck I was. That was no fun. This has got Roy Estrada on it, who's currently serving time for child molestation. A nice point. The Brides of Jesus, Snakes on Everything, which is every live version of it is just crap. But just the FM radio stations got me to buy this record, and I did. I was a little bit too young to appreciate it when I was like 13 or so, but damn, it stayed with me. This record has left a major impression on my life. John Baldry, It Ain't Easy. This is one side was produced by Elton John, the other side was produced by Rod Stewart. This is his debut. It's got Flying on it, the song but the Faces wrote, and it's got a song by Randy Newman, Let's Burn Down the Cornfield. Just fabulous vocalist. He's only got he recorded 2 records, and then he didn't know what he wanted to do. He kind of like ballads, and he did a lot of collaborations with Kathy McDonald. I need to pick up one of those records. Just every time I listen to them, I just can't find one that really resonates with me. John McLaughlin and their debut, Intermountain Flame, Mahavishnu Orchestra. I had the good fortune to see them at the club in New York City when they played this record for the first time. I went with a friend of mine. I don't know, they used to let kids into clubs in New York City even when they were serving alcohol in those days. And I remember John McLaughlin just smiling at us. He just smiled all the time whenever he played. This is just the greatest fusion album. I don't own a lot of fusion, but this one I love. Okay, just a couple more. Bobby Whitlock's debut. I'm probably one of the few people who just adore Bobby Whitlock. I love his voice, just the way he growls. I like that interplay that he does with Eric Clapton. But to be honest with you, I like his solo work the best. And I'm showing this because it's a good solo record, but actually the one after this, Raw Velvet, is even better. Okay, so last one, and this really jumps out of time. Everything I just showed you was in the 60s and 70s. Here it is, Dexy's Midnight Runners, In Search of the Young Soul Rebels. And you can see it's a Japanese pressing. It's got that OB. Everybody loves that OB. And there's nothing like Kevin Rowland's voice. He uses his voice like a musical instrument, the way he rolls it. And this is just, everybody likes Come On Eileen. God, I hate that record. This is their best record, and so is their third record, Don't Stand Me Down. So those are my 12. I have details in my comment section if you want to look them up, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.